Yes.
Yes. Yes, we should be paid.
Yeah, I feel like they should be paid.
I think college athletes should get paid.
Just like NFL, it's a job. That's what they do.
I know this is an amateur sport, but still, you might have some needs when you're at college. Maybe you need a car.
Although you're still on the scholarship for school, I still feel like that's your job. That's what you're doing. That's what you dedicate your life to. All those schools, schools also, but I feel like football is their job. That's what they do.
I understand that, your body is basically your payment for your scholarship, but, I feel like they don't have the opportunity that students do to go out and get jobs.
We go to practice early in the morning, and we got to go right to school. And we don't have time to have a job and get little things that we want to get.
Just luxury shopping, trying to go back home. Some players that come out of state.
And why not just get paid? All the fans come there and pay for the watch the game, and they watching us.
The sport of college football, that's $1 billion industry. I feel like, and the players bring the fans there.
Legendary football coach, Notre Dame, Minnesota, Arkansas, and of course South Carolina, Lou Holtz. Coach, I think they should be paid. You think what?
I think they definitely should not be paid for a variety of different reasons. Number one, they get an education. They get an education on how to live as well as an education on how to make a living. They get an unbelievable experience. They get to travel. They have lifetime memory. And where does the money go, Brian? Number one, it pays for all sports. When you look at what happens to women's soccer, what happens to women's basketball, what happens to the Olympic sports, in addition to that, who builds the facilities? Who provides the various facilities for them to improve? And the academic achievement, the academic counseling they get. In addition to that, when you look at all the video equipment to enable them to develop their talent. You want a job? Drop out of school, go to work for Walmart. You're not supposed to have an awful lot of money. You're not supposed to get rich in college. When I was in college, they'd say you need a haircut. Look in the mirror. I say, I don't. I look at my wallet. My wallet told me whether I need a haircut or not. And when you look at, is Kentucky going to pay the athlete the same amount as, say, Seton Hall? Kentucky seats 20,000, Seton Hall seats 4,000. Where does it go? Where's it in? And who are you going to take it away from? You're like you work with the government. Give everything away and you can't pay for it.
I'm the soccer player to non-rep.
At the risk of sounding contrary, I mean, people in trite fashion ask from time to time, should players be paid? I like to phrase it in a different fashion, which is we have this multi-billion-dollar collegiate sports industry. We have to figure out a way to fairly compensate those who are fueling that industry. Like Bernie said, what a great business model. You make billions, oh, and by the way, you don't have to pay the employees anything. How great is that? I mean, it's the only institution in America that you can think of like this, where you're making billions of dollars, oh, and by the way, you don't pay the people.
I'm chilling in Italy. 1, 2, 3, yo, my breath don't stink. Yo, her name is Lena Eubanks, and you don't stop and you don't quit. I'm from the States.
I think if they watch the tape, they'll realize how much fun they had when they see themselves. And to this day, I don't know if I've ever shown it to any of them.
The one thing about the Europe trip, it made us feel like pros. It didn't make us feel like college kids anymore. And it made us start paying attention more to the business aspect of the game. Like, we're in Europe playing against pro teams. The stands are full. Somebody's getting paid this summer, and it's not us.
They come back as sophomores, and from the very start, it was not just go out and have fun. It was, you have to not just get to the Final Four, you have to win the Final Four. You have to dominate every single night you go out on the floor.
Yeah, if anybody on the team thinks we're going to lose a game, whether it's a coach or whether it's a player or whether it's myself, I don't want to be involved with that person. And we don't have a team that thinks that. No one on our team thinks we're going to lose any game we play.
You know, when you see the Michigan team out on the court, you realize that the only difference between last year's team and this year's team is last year, if they won it, they would have shocked the world. This year, the only way they're going to shock the world is if they don't.
Exacerbating the immense pressure was their belief that they were now cogs in a money-making machine. Baggy shorts, T-shirts, trading cards, virtually anything featuring the iconic Block M.
It's cute. I might have to give it a try.
As freshmen, they felt excited. As sophomores, they felt exploited.
I didn't feel like a college kid anymore. I felt like a professional athlete that wasn't getting paid. I remember we were in Chicago one time, and we went downtown to the Nike outlet, and we walked past a display. It said, Fab 5 Nikes. That's when you start realizing having your own shoe doesn't necessarily put money in your pocket.
Whatever Nike wanted to sell, they threw it on the Fab Five. Black socks.
I had called one of my best friends at the time and asked him to bring me a couple pair of socks up, and he brought a pair of black socks up. And Juwan just gets excited, like, ooh, those black ones are sweet.
Don't tell anybody. You can't tell family members. You can't tell any coaches. Don't tell any of your girlfriends. Don't tell anybody. You put on your shoes and socks in the stall where nobody can see you. You put on your warm-up pants and you button them all the way down. We're gonna keep our warm-up pants on until after they announce the starting lineup. We're gonna snap off the warm-up pants and the world is gonna see our black socks.
You know, when I'm growing up, if you went out on a basketball court in black socks and you weren't 70 years old and on a shuffleboard court in Florida, they would laugh at you. Now, Nike, because of the Fab Five, makes wearing black socks while you're playing basketball fashionable.
When we started to realize that everything we wore, people were selling, we started to protest. And one of our silent protests was wear plain blue shirts that didn't say Michigan, that didn't say Nike, that didn't say anything. That was our silent protest.
A year after the Wolverines won their only title in 1989, merchandise royalties totaled $1.6 million. Following the Fab Five's freshman season, that number would climb to a 2-year total of $10.5 million. It was amateur athletics, but business was booming for everyone except the Fab Five themselves.
Perception of our lifestyle, that we were living like rock stars. We weren't living that lifestyle. That just wasn't what it was. We were eating cereal some night, you know, cooking hot dogs. That was our lifestyle. We lived just like every college student.
I drove a green Dodge Shadow that my mother gave me, all right? That's why it kills me when they try to act like we was getting it so big.
The only perks that we really got were pooling our money together to go to Taco Bell. They recognized who we were and gave us more tacos.
Yeah, we played beer pong. Yeah, we went to frat houses. Yeah, we went to parties. Yeah, we were doing what all of the other college kids were doing. It just so happened that we had to go to practice the next day.
Talk about money. We're talking about billions of dollars that they are earning this money based upon essentially free labor.
College sports is a billion-dollar industry. Coaches are paid millions, but the players earn nothing.